The first step after arriving at the museum is to go to the ticket office to purchase an admission ticket. This ticket is good for up to 3 days, since the staff realizes that 1 day of exploring the rail yard might not be sufficient to see everything. It is here that you can also purchase tickets to ride on the trains, select your souvenirs to take back home, and explore the adjacent museum. On the back of the ticket, there are 10 safety rules for exploring the rail yard and 5 rules that apply inside the engine house. The main rule to observe is that if you hear a whistle or if you hear the sound of a locomotive, look up and make sure that you're not standing in the path of the train. That's fairly obvious. The main thing for the machine shop is to be aware of those pits in the floor that are used to service the locomotives. Because if you're like me, I wander around looking at the ceiling, looking sideways, and making videos, and I could easily, by being distracted, end up falling into one of those concrete pits. And I can assure you the outcome will not be pretty. Along with your ticket, you will be given a walking tour guide of the rail yard. The young lady at the desk kindly outlined those areas which are of interest to most people visiting the Rail Yard Museum. Allow me to show you what to expect. I'll give you an idea of what you will see in the video, but also how to prepare for your own visit. This is 11th Street. Basically, you get to the Railroad Museum. It takes about 5 minutes to 10 minutes from anywhere in Ely. You go down Highway 93, which is the main road through town, make a left turn at 11th Street, and go down to here. This will be the front of the actual museum and ticket office. As for parking, this is the area for visitors to park. This area is usually reserved for employees, but I don't think they bother you if you park there. If there's no other place to park, then you have a wide open area in this direction here. Off the road, of course. The entrance to the building is about right here. So you go in, it's a gift shop, it's a museum, and it's also where you purchase tickets to ride a real train, steam engine driven, to one of the old mines. After leaving the office, I went around the side into this area, which is a patio-like area, as you'll see in the video. This is the office for the museum. Once past the patio, you'll see some trains sitting there, and they always have one of these open. This was the Ruth passenger car, and this is the flat car. And you can go in, take a look, walk down the aisle out into the flat car. Of course, the caboose is off limits, as well as the other passenger car. After that, I went in this direction to head toward the major attraction of the railway yard, which is the engine house over here. Restrooms for the railroad yard are right here, and may I say they were quite clean and well maintained. Continuing here, this is the warehouse. Warehouse is closed. It's not open, assuming that because they don't have anything to exhibit there at the present time. But it's a classic railroad warehouse. This is a little hut that you will see off to your right. That is the way station house or scale house. As you continue down the tracks, you will see a big, long gray building over to your right, which is the RIP building. And I later learned that RIP stands for Repair in Place. And it is a building that will do minor to moderate repair services on the railroad cars. Now, one thing about being in the yard, you can roam all over here. Then I walked down this way, and these buildings were just some bus garage buildings, and not much to actually see there. I think there was a little electric shop right here. Then I came over to this particular building, which is the master mechanic's office, or at least it was in the past. Now it's mostly for storage until they decide what to do with it. Across from this office is an entrance door to the engine house. Although I think most people don't make it down to that door, they come into the yard at this point here because there are doors open for each locomotive that's in a repair bay. And you can just walk in. And one of their rules is don't interfere with the workers, but you're free to ask questions if you have them. And the people are friendly. They'll say hello. They'll gladly stop what they're doing and answer your questions. And again, you get a feeling here that the administration is really keen on you having a good experience. When I got here, I was very fortunate to see old number 81 coming out to get prepped for the work of the day, which was really exciting for me. And then I went in and toured inside here, walked around, and saw all of the other locomotives. And when I got to this area, I peeked in this area, but I didn't see much but some other mechanical things. There are all sorts of tools and machines in there to repair the trains. One thing you can notice in this particular video is this black smoke coming out of the roof. That is because when they're working on the trains and they're testing them, they have to vent the smokestack smoke. And so they have big fans in the ceiling that suck the smoke out into the open air. Now, I spent most of my time in there, but as I said before, you're free to roam all over the place here. And if you're interested, there's several buildings over here, but I was told that those are not open for public view, but you're free to go and look in the windows if you wish. This is the wrecker shed or a car shed. This is the paint shop. And behind the paint shop, there's a small carpentry shop as well. This is a wood shop here. This is the car foreman's office. Next to him is a washing room. And the blacksmith shop here. And then a hardwood shop over here. Then if you walk this way, you'll come to the classic coal tower, followed by the water tower. And those are interesting structures to see. But I had not allowed enough time to see all of the yard, which I regret, so I'll have to go back. As far as the other structures here, this is the area where they dump the ashes. And this is a roadway machine house here. And this is the office of the chief engineer. At least it was the office in the past. I understand that either in the past or still presently, one could actually rent rooms for overnight stay in that office. There's also a caboose that you could rent to spend the night in as well, but I'm not sure if those programs are still going. You'd have to check. So basically, that is what we will see in the upcoming video, but this gives you an idea of what to expect and how to plan your own trip to the railroad yard. This is the Nevada Northern Railroad National Historic Landmark with the classic railroad station. Of course, those skeletons there are for Halloween. So let's take a look. Again, Halloween stuff. And apparently we can look inside the flat car and the number 8. Number 8 is the Ruth car. This is what it would be like in a passenger car back in the day. This is getting from car to car here. They still have these seats in here and everything decorated because they actually use these cars to take passengers up to one of the mines. I believe it's a 90-minute train ride up and back. Let's see if this is working. Oh, they even have a little restroom for people too. That's nice. And this is the car, the open air car that they use, which is a, what is it, flat car, flat top. So people sit along the benches and they inhale all of the smoke from the chimney as they go up towards the mine. I would imagine in the summer it would be pretty hot sitting out here. My understanding is that they not only maintain this railroad, but they also do repair work for other companies that have old steam engines. And you can actually walk around the shop, so that'll be our next move here. Restrooms here. We are walking up to the repair shops. Apparently you can walk around and ask questions about the locomotive And as you can see, some of the old ore or coal cars and the rolling stock.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
So they said you could walk around here and cross the tracks, but don't stay on the tracks when there's a train coming your way. And I guess these would have been warehouses to take the freight on and off. We're almost up to the repair house. Or building, I should say. So look carefully when crossing the railroad tracks. And watch out for these switches here. I remember an old episode of Zorro, which was serialized probably in the 1930s, where he had his foot trapped in that piece that diverts the train to a different direction. And of course, the train was coming and his foot was caught in there. And then they said, see what happens, tune in next week. And I believe he took his whip and whipped the handle and pulled it. How he got out of that. Fantastic. Well, they sure put a lot of oil on those moving parts.
blowing dust and dirt out in this country.
Yeah. So they really do oil the train with those little cans, just like in the movies. The inside of the repair building. And as you can see, there's all sorts of machinery to fine-tune the parts of the engine. It's amazing how little we know of things. Now, you can't smell it, but it has the smell of smoke and oil in here. Maybe from when that engine came out of its place. Morning. Apparently they're working on this particular engine here now. Old 93. These are the housing for the pistons, and these are all the driving rods. And I forget, this is a compressor. And of course, these pipes are coming from where it says 93 up there. And that's sand. guess they have to manufacture their own parts for these things. And you see those pits down there. That's what they keep warning people about. Keep an eye out for these pits and don't walk into it and fall in. There are the pits again. And there's 93's coal tender and a snowplow. Looks like they have some diesel engines too. Now here's one of these open pits they warn you about. The engine that just left was probably housed here, judging from all the oil and grease that they were putting on the driving mechanisms. So you want to be careful. You could be filming, getting close, wham. Number 81 is that particular train. Another pit. Coal tender. Look at those big lumps of coal in there. Amazing. There's the shell of a steam engine. I had initially allotted only 2 hours for my visit, my main objective being the engine house. I did not realize that to take in the entire rail yard experience would take the better part of a day, if not longer. In the ticket office, I had noticed a few odd souvenir items featuring a rather unkempt looking feline. I just thought those souvenirs were something to attract the children. I now know that I missed an opportunity to meet the museum ambassador, Dirt the cat. Dirt, the aptly named Harlequin cat, has been a member of the team since 2008 when he was born under the snowplow car. He was adopted by the workers and has risen to the level of foreman. He regularly greets visitors when not busy inspecting the rail yard to make sure that things are running appropriately. He likes to keep his thick coat well oiled, hence the dirt color. But wait, now there is DJ, or Dirt Jr. Be sure to look for them when you visit the museum.